against Miami. They won 3 games here at home by over 20 points and lost 2 games in Miami by over 20 points. So that's the issue for them. They have to play consistent basketball at home on the road until they can be considered one of the elites. As Mo Evans posts up the smaller Luke Ridnour, it seems that they have matchup issues all over the floor.
20-point lead for Atlanta. Milwaukee holding for the last shot of the quarter. Jennings for 3. Brandon Jennings now with 7. Nearly stolen. And the first quarter comes to a close. As you said, fun and games for the Atlanta Hawks for the first 12 minutes. And a 17-point advantage on the Milwaukee Bucks at the end of 12 minutes. All 5 starters scored. Jamal Crawford came off the bench and scored. Everybody scored wearing an Atlanta jersey.
Giles, what was the biggest problem in the first quarter?
Well, it couldn't be any worse, really, for us. You know, the looks on our faces were kind of shell-shocked a little bit, and we had trouble coming out of timeouts, executing, and we just need to settle down, try to work ourselves back into the game.
What's the one thing that you want to see this team do to get back in this game?
Well, we've got to do something inside. You know, they're scoring too many points in the paint. They came out of a timeout, threw a lob, and dunked it. We're supposed to get some help down there, and right now we're just kind of standing and watching.
Good luck. Thanks, Coach.
Now, JB, they've got 2 starters, Jennings and Ba Mute, who had never played in the playoffs. Is it normal to be shell-shocked? Is there any way to avoid being shell-shocked at the beginning of your first playoff game?
No, I think you are. I mean, there's no question about it, but the fact of the matter here is this is not a shell-shocking. This is just a team that is so athletic that they can't stop them. Every position on the floor literally is a mismatch for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Ilyasova, second-year player out of Turkey, averaged better than 10 points, 6 rebounds per game, and he can step out beyond the three-point line.
It looks like they've gone a little zone.
Joe Smith in the game for Atlanta. Crawford. Short on the 3, rebound Ridnour. So we see Jennings and Ridnour. Ridnour will back up Jennings, but as is the case right now, they'll also play together. Small backcourt.
Well, this is a situation where they have no matchup for either one of the two. There's no way they can match. Yes. As Ilyasova knocks down another jump shot. Hey, 13-point game.
7-0 run for the Bucks.
Settle them down at the quarter. Scott Skiles will have this group. They're going to compete the rest of this game. You can guarantee that.
Crawford from the far corner this time, and he buries the 3.
No fear out of this guy. He will take any shot anytime, and the Hawks don't get back, and Jennings gets an easy one.
Crawford was screaming something to the effect of, hey, I took the 3, somebody rotate.
No, he's not the guy to be back if he's taking a corner 3.
Yep. And Jennings too quick. You like the zone look?
Yeah, why not? You know, you better find this guy, though. I'll tell you, he'll shoot it from anywhere, anytime. If you're going to play zone, you got to find Jamal Crawford. Make Mo Evans or Marvin Williams beat you from the perimeter.
Also, Jamal Crawford not shell-shocked in his first ever playoff game after 10 years in the league.
I think he's doing okay.
Looking exactly like the regular season Jamal Crawford. John Salmon's back into the game and now for Milwaukee. 2 points, 1 of 5 shooting for Salmon's thus far.
Joe Johnson back in. Mike Woodson seeing the zone. You put another shooter on the floor, and it makes it even more difficult to get to these shooters.
And Kurt Thomas will return for Milwaukee.
And the zone's tough also, Dan, when you're to rebound. You don't have box out responsibilities. You don't know who you're going to go box out. So this could be a problem too for the Bucks.
Crawford, a foul on Ridnour. Well, we heard Scott Skiles talking to Rick Bucher. What did he have to say to his team?
We got to start reacting to what's happening in the game down there. We got plenty of time, guys. We got to work ourselves back in, but we got to work ourselves back in. Okay, they're not going to give us anything. Okay.
Ridnour and Milwaukee. Let's be honest, they got to the postseason on hard work. You look at the names on the roster. This team did really, really well to win 46 games this year. They worked their way into the playoffs. Smith is stripped. Ilyasova comes up with it for the Bucks.
Well, I think they've taken on the persona of their head coach. Scott Skiles, a hard-working player, self-made player.
Ridnour banks at home. 40s to 25.
And they're going to compete. Here we are, 15 points. They still give themselves a chance if they can defensive rebound the basketball, keep Atlanta to one shot and not turn it over on the other end. Get a shot attempt every single time down.
Atlanta turns the ball over less often than any team in the league. Milwaukee's not far off. Johnson, no. Loose ball rebound to Ridnour. John Skiles telling us one of the reasons the team has been successful is how readily Ridnour accepted his role with the addition of Brandon Jennings. A turnover by Milwaukee. This is where Atlanta is so good. They bobble this 3-on-1 opportunity away. A rejection by Thomas. And a loose ball foul on Mo Evans.
Good D, Kurt Thomas. Got the block on Evans. But the Milwaukee Bucks are going to have to find Jamal Crawford at all times. He's got it going here early in his first playoff game. Got it from distance. And the Hawks still here in control.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs. Brought to you by Taco Bell.
Lead on a Milwaukee. Jamal Crawford has come in and already scored 9 points off the bench for the Atlanta Hawks. We heard how excited he was to play in the playoffs for the first time. And now on how prepared he feels to play in the postseason.
Well, I think I'm better prepared. You know, I think honestly playing in Chicago, playing in New York, even though in New York we weren't that good, playing in that building, that arena, the big games, the electricity, certain nights I think helped prepare me for this moment. You know, and there's nothing like actually going through it, but I think that pass I can draw from a little bit.
Well, he certainly looks comfortable and relaxed. He's knocked down a couple of threes and looks exactly like he looked in the regular season.
Oh, absolutely. And this is the sixth man of the year. I think there's no question about it. 646 games.
A lot. A big number.
Without getting to the playoffs. Yeah. And, I mean, we talked to him, and he did say it was like Christmas today. Yep. He was like a kid in the candy store. The anticipation to come out here and compete in the playoffs. There's no one more excited than Jamal Crawford.
And there's no one less excited than Troy Murphy because now he's played in the most games among active players without ever going to the postseason.
I can't imagine. Oh, there's nothing better than the NBA playoffs. Today is one of the best days of the year.
Ridnour is heading to the line now for the Bucks. 7th-year player out of Oregon. Well, a total of 4 games today, and on the NBA calendar tomorrow on ABC, it'll be Game 1 between Oklahoma City and the Lakers. That's on ABC. Coverage begins at 2:30 Eastern. NBA on TNT with a triple-header tomorrow night. Games in Orlando, Dallas, and Phoenix, and then a doubleheader Tuesday on NBA TV, including Game 2 of this series. Also, Portland at Phoenix. Boy, the Suns, JB, coming into the playoffs, playing as well as any team in the league.
You're right about that, and who would have thought that we would say the health of Robin Lopez is the key for them to possibly come out of the Western Conference.
Joe Johnson drops in the floater. And for Portland, you just got to feel so badly for them. So many injuries all season, and then right at the very end, on top of everything else, the knee problem, the torn meniscus for Brandon Roy, had surgery, definitely will not play at all in the Phoenix series.
You got to tip your hat to the rest of that team, Nate McMillan, and those guys for having the type of year they had with all those injuries. Yeah. I would love to see that team healthy. Odin, Kuzvilla, and Roy. Wow.
Coach of the year, you can make a case for Nate McMillan. Sure. You can make it for Scott Skiles, Scott Brooks, Alvin Gentry, a few guys.
Oh, yeah. Jerry Sloan, who's never won.
Who's never won.
Never won.
How is that? Ridnour pulls up from 18 away, and it rims out. Kept alive by Ilyasova, but he can't finish. Just too many white jerseys. Johnson. Pachulia turns it over. Salmon's behind the back. And he'll slow it down, look for some help. Now, eludes Johnson and misses the jumper. And we've got kind of a schoolyard game breaking out here, JB.
Yeah, that's the problem. You have no offensive rebounding. You're taking jump shots. Guys are all over the place on the offensive end. And that's what happens when you take a quick rush shot. The Atlanta Hawks come down and get an easy one on the other end.
Stackhouse Little bump there with Crawford. Step back jumper not there. Stackhouse now 1 for 5.
Well, that's the best they're going to get. Even if they do Stackhouse, he does have an